Hello and welcome to our group discussion. And let us introduce ourselves first. And my name is Lo Jian, matrix number 1X7X27.
My name is Lam Xiyuan, matrix number 1870009.
My name is Muhammad Ali Manashi, just call me Ali, and my matric number is 190552, and I'm a physics major, extra information.
Okay. My name is Cheng Yong Jin. My matric number is 1X7724.
My name is Ong Jae Fei. My matrix number is 188635.
Okay, so I would like to say thank you for you guys' cooperation because to have this discussion at this morning. And now I would like to share my opinion first. And our topic is do you encourage the people to use the public transportation? In my opinion, I think the public we should encourage the people to use the public transportation because I got 2 points to support my views. The first one is we can reduce the carbon footprints if we use the public transportation, and the people may less likely to use the private transportation, and through this we can reduce the effect of the carbon footprints in climate change. For example, it's like greenhouse effect, and the another one is we can raise the employment rate in our country. If we use the public transportation, we must hire a driver to drive the bus or train or whatever lah, and through this the employment rate will also increase. Okay, what's your point, Lam?
In my opinion, it is actually a very good point to have your own transportation instead of using the public transportation, because economically speaking, when we spend some money, especially when we have to own our own transportation such as private car, private motor, and so on, we have to spend the money to boost our nation's economy. For example, we can buy Proton branded product, and then our spending become other people's income, and then by this way we boost the economy, and then the nation will be more economically more wealth. The nation will be more wealthy. And then the other point is, it is actually quite hard if the public transport is not on time. So for example, if I want to go to somewhere which is very near, it's like 5 minutes if I drive my car, and then when I wait for public transport, it is like with interval of 30 minutes. So if I miss this bus, I have to wait another 30 minutes to reach the 5-minute place which I can easily drive my car to. That way it decreases our efficiency. Like if we have to spend more time if we really want to be on time for the public transport, such as we be there early, and then we have to wait for exactly the time, and then we be there early to take the public transport, or we be late, then we miss the public transport and we wait another 30 minutes for the public transport. It actually wastes a lot of time to go there and decrease the efficiency. That's two of my points. What's your opinion, Ali?
Oh, actually, when I first heard about this question, my answer was directly yes, of course. After all, it reduces the carbon, and which reduces the danger of climate change and greenhouse effect. On the other hand, it also reduces traffic. Although it does have some disadvantages, like for the economy, however, it can generate more jobs, and most of the cars and the petrol are imported, and imported goods actually affect the economy usually in a negative way. But I still my first impression was yes, no need to think twice, but actually I thought twice about it, and then my impression is still yes, but there are some restrictions for that. What I would like to say, we can encourage it, or we should encourage it, but in a humane way. For example, we should think about every person who's going to be affected by this. There are some people who cannot take public transportation, whether because there's no public transportation to the place they go, or maybe it's very inconvenient, or maybe they just think it's too expensive because they have to take a whole roundabout instead of just going the way straight there. Not to mention that sometimes you have to go at night or in the morning. And so if we have to punish, if we encourage people to take public transportation by punishing the people who don't, by increasing the taxes or by raising the price of petrol, that actually affect these people, especially that most people are in the middle class, when they can be easily affected by a slight increase in the expenditure. And as I mentioned before, these are not the people who do not want to take public transportation but cannot take public transportation. Another thing that we have to think about is the people who are already taking public transportation. How would they be affected? Now, you might think, well, they are already taking the public transportation, what would affect them? Well, the public transportation, for example, in Malaysia right now, are already very crowded most of the time. If we increase more people without increasing the buses, without increasing the trains or frequency, we're just putting more, making these people wait more and more. And this actually might have a negative effect where people who can only take public transportation or think it's better will stop doing that because they see that they have to wait 3 hours. I mean, right now if I want to go home, I have to wait for the UPM bus 1 hour, for the KTM to come 1 hour, and for the LRT to come 15 minutes. I have 2 hours, 15 minutes just waiting. If you increase the people who are going to wait, who are going to use it, I have to wait more, which might take up to 5 hours, and obviously I'm not gonna do that. So I would just have to take a taxi, which in a way instead of encouraging, discouraging people. I have more points, but I think I should go.
Okay. In my opinion, when I saw this question, I partially yes and partially not yes. Because partially yes is if we use public transport, we can reduce the traffic jam. Well, at the peak hour, like 8 a.m., 6 a.m. until 8 a.m., that time is very jam at KL and that place. So if we take public transport, we can reduce the traffic jam. No need to wait 2 hours at the jam. Personally, though, is because what Ali said just now is Malaysian public transport is frequency is too low. If I want to go back home, if I drive my private transport, it's only need 1 hour. If I take public transport, I need 4 hours to back my hometown. So it's waste many of time. Okay, this is my point. What about you?
I actually after I have seen the title, I also partially agree that we should use public transportation. It's because public transportation sometimes it will make the traffic goes more smoothly, and it will be more convenient. But sometimes I also disagree because of I partially disagree because I partially disagree because of the traffic. Sometimes we go out by car more easily. So my point is just like that.
Okay, Tete. Now I understand your point, but will you elaborate more about what do you say just now, the partially yes? Because I not quite understand. I get your main point, but I would like to hear the elaboration about this point.
I mean partially yes is because that sometimes using public transportation is good. It's because of the traffic on the road. Sometimes in Malaysia is have massive jam, and if we use public transportation, we would reduce the time, and we will reach there more easily. But sometimes we can't make it because of the cars increasing so much. And then we want to go to some place that which is very near. We don't even need to take take public transportation. Instead, we can drive our own car to within a short distance. This is my point.
I will add some point on this point. For example, partially yes, because for example, we go to go to Mid Valley, Sendang go to Mid Valley, we just need to take a KTM then arrive. No need find the parking and pay the parking fee.
That's a lot of cost lah.
Cost and time lah. If we take private transport to go to the Mid Valley, we need to spend some half an hour to find the parking if weekends.
So Yongji, I see your point is saying what if depends on the situation and then I see some ideas in your head. Will you say some?
Yeah, I prefer to speak.
I would like to oppose your idea because first of all, if you drive your own transport, your private transport, you have the freedom to choose what time you're going to go out. It's like after 1 p.m. the bus will go, but suddenly somehow you get out on 1:05, but the bus already go. You have to wait for another trip. So for me, it is also a freedom to go there by your private transport. And then when you reach there, when the shop is closed or something, you have the privilege to choose another destination without planning ahead. Like if you want to take a public transport to go somewhere, you have to plan ahead. Like you have to prepare yourself for how many minutes you have to wait, and then you reach there, you have to take a walk to take another public transport and go to that place. Especially when that place is not one of the places the public transport can go there straight away. And when we use our private transport, we can straight away using Waze or something. We can straight away go there, and then even if we reach a place like I have a meeting at 12, I reach there at 11:30. Maybe I can listen to music inside the car. The car has air conditioning and something. It is very comfortable. And then if it's your private transport, you can customize it. Like if you like red, you can paint the car red and so on. Like it makes you more comfortable. Like it is a comfort place for you if anything happens. It is also a safety, like make you feel safety. One of the minor points I think for me.
Okay, so first of all, I would like to thank you because you reminded me of one point that I wanted to elaborate. When I said that we should encourage people in a humane way, one of the methods that was in my mind was to increase the places that the public transportation can go to. Just like I think this is a good point in Malaysia where they are now trying to build have more bus routes, and now they're trying to build the MRT. Another way is also to give incentives and discounts, just like the one that's given by Rapid KL when you have the card. And as for your points where it's more comfortable and easier, I do agree it is like that, but we have to think of the greater good. After all, when all people think the same way, there's high traffic and then no one gets the comfort. And another point is, once too many carbon dioxide is produced because everyone think of their own personal comfort, then we will have just a global discomfort due to very hot weather and many side effects of climate change. Now, another thing I wanted to add. The time is about to run. Just okay. So another point that I wanted to add about was what were we talking about?
Not really sure.
Okay. So, yeah, the human design.
You can customize your own private transport.
Yeah, I mean, the public transportation is not I know it's not it's not as comfortable as private transportation, but it's a necessity if we want to keep our planet safe.
So as a conclusion, I see that some of us is disagree to support the people to encourage the public transportation, and also some of us is agree. Like me, I agree because it will save our earth. It is more eco-friendly compared to the private transportation. And Lam is the disagree because of freedom. Yes, he's right. But we don't have to plan all the things. And suddenly, if like the KTM is out of service, that means we have to. Our plan is just how to say.
Had to rethink everything and do everything.
And then the thing we want to do is all delayed. And Ali is what you partially agree, is it?
Yeah, I strong not like I agree more, but I partially agree, but I into more agreements than disagreement. I agree, but I think there should be it should be done in a specific way. Yeah, and just one on a side note, he said I think you mentioned that it might be safer and more comfortable. And just on the side note that
fear of safetyness.
Okay, it's a fear of safetyness, but
Yeah.
statistically, car accidents are one of the major reasons out there. Just a side note.
And then Yongjing and then JFA is partially disagree, and that's all from us lah. Thank you.
Thank you.